All right, so, we love a good curveball here on the show, and this week's topic is, well, let's just say it's a doozy. We got a question from a listener, and it's one of those things where you kind of have to stop and go, "Wait, what?"
Sounds intriguing. Lay it on us.
So they asked, is there a connection between toxic masculinity and high fiber bread?
Hmm.
High fiber bread, like what?
Okay, I'll admit that's not a connection I'd have made off the top of my head.
Right. I mean, on the surface, it's two completely different things, right?
Yeah.
But, and this is the part I love, digging into a question like this, even if it sounds a little out there, it can tell us a lot about, like, how we think and categorize stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes the most unexpected pairings can reveal the most deeply ingrained assumptions.
Exactly. So let's break this down. First things first, toxic masculinity. We've talked about this before on the show, but just as a refresher, we're talking about those harmful societal norms and expectations about what it means to be a man. Things like suppressing emotions, overemphasizing dominance, that kind of stuff.
Right, the kind of stuff that often ends up hurting not just men themselves, but also the people around them.
Exactly. And then on the flip side, we've got high fiber bread, the poster child for healthy eating. Maybe not the most exciting food, but good for you. Great.
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly setting the culinary world on fire, but it's got its place.
So how do these two things even relate? Like, is there some secret society of men out there who are refusing to eat their bran flakes?
Well, I can confidently say we haven't uncovered any evidence of that.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
But jokes aside, even though there's not a literal connection, this question does raise some interesting points. For example, why do we find this pairing so strange?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? I think it forces us to think about how deeply we associate certain foods with certain genders.
Right. Like when you think about it, food is often really gendered. Think about like classic manly foods, steaks, burgers, big meaty plates.
And then there's what's often considered more feminine,
Mhm.
salads, lighter dishes, things like that.
And it's not just about the food itself,
Right.
right? It's also about how it's marketed to us.
Totally, you see it everywhere. The rugged dude in the truck commercial chowing down on a burger versus the group of women laughing over a salad. These images are so pervasive.
And they have an impact. Because it's like, even if you're not consciously thinking about it, all of that messaging can make you feel like weird or self-conscious about ordering certain foods. Like, how many times have we seen a dude trying to, like, discreetly eat a salad?
Oh, absolutely. It's like it somehow undermines their masculinity to be seen enjoying something seen as feminine.
Right, which is just ridiculous. And honestly, these stereotypes, as silly as they seem, they can actually be really harmful.
They really can. Because think about it. If men are feeling pressure to avoid certain foods because they're perceived as feminine, that can have real consequences for their health.
Exactly. They could be missing out on important nutrients just because of some outdated idea of what a man should or shouldn't eat.
Precisely. And it can also make it harder for men to feel comfortable addressing things like eating disorders, which unfortunately are often seen as exclusively female problems.
Right. Or even just seeking help from a nutritionist or dietitian. Because those fields are often seen as more feminine too, which is crazy.
It is crazy. And it all ties back into these expectations we place on men from a young age. The man up mentality that prevents them from taking care of their mental and physical health.
Absolutely. It's wild how, like, even something as simple as high fiber bread can lead to a conversation about, like, societal expectations and health and all that.
It's a testament to how deeply these assumptions run in our culture. We
Mhm.
might not even realize how they're influencing us until we encounter something that makes us stop and think, wait a minute.
Which is exactly what this listener did. So, for everyone listening, here's something to chew on. Have you ever felt limited by these unspoken food rules? Or have you ever caught yourself judging someone, even just subconsciously, for their food choices based on their gender?
Because that's the real takeaway here. By questioning these assumptions, even the seemingly silly ones, even the ones about what's on our plate, we can start to break down these harmful stereotypes and create a healthier, more inclusive world.
You heard it here, folks. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. Until next time.